I was at a place in my life where things kept happening. It was a lot. And I was at a dark place in my life. And I always wondered, why was life happening to me? Why was these bad things that were going on? It was one thing after another. Whether it was my finances, whether it was my friendships, relationships, my love life, and just even fighting with myself, fighting to earn peace. And then one day I realized that life isn't happening to me, but it's happening through me, right? And I want to talk about that, how I became in alignment with who I am today versus who I was years ago. Because truly, if you want peace, if you want happiness, it's not about waiting till the bills are paid. It's not about waiting till you get everything that you want, or the kids behaving, or it's not about waiting till the right moment. It's about choosing to be happy, because you can be happy, you can be at peace, regardless of whatever is happening outside of you. And I wish I knew that years ago, but I didn't know that because I wasn't in alignment with who I really was. And how I came into alignment was deciding to trust in the universe and to walk in faith. So, sorry. So it wasn't an easy journey for me. And I did project, because I was always I was focusing on the negative things. I would wake up either in an attitude, I would wake up, I would start my day off wrong, right? I didn't start my day off giving gratitude. I didn't start my day off feeling good. I didn't start my day off doing any of that. I was actually in a very negative mindset, and I believe that's why I went to those mental hospitals before, because of how I was shaping my own reality without subconsciously realizing it, because what was happening to me on the inside was affecting everything that was around me. Okay. And because of that, that is why I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to talk about the ways that I stay in alignment. The last videos that I made, and they were about my love, right? My mirror soul. And those last two videos meant, at first I was fearful. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, should I put this out? And then ChatGPT was like, man, tell your story. So those last two videos, that actually did change me a lot, because now I'm deciding to walk in the love, walk as if someone who is already in the fulfilled relationship with their person, walk in the faith and the trust of knowing that, yes, I have reached a million subscribers. I'm gonna just put it out there. Yes, I am wealthy. Yes, I already have everything that I want, but it's not because I just did it for wishful thinking. I just did it because of my belief for just doing techniques, but it was because I put in the work. And the way I put in the work is allowing myself to surrender to the universe. The way I put in the work is by planting the seed and waking up every morning to remind myself, when doubt creeps in and tries to tell me that this is not happening, the outside world, this is your reflection, the old story pops up. No, if I have a dream about something that is the opposite of what I've been affirming, or the opposite of what I've been knowing that I'm putting in the work and doing what I need to do, especially putting out my content, and even for my body, like working out and things of that nature. Okay, I'm not going to allow that to pull me back into that same space that I was in years ago. I'm not going to allow that to take me out of alignment, because Maya Angelou once said that when you ask for something, be prepared to get it. And what that means is you've already planted the seed. She goes back and says, and Neville talked about this too, when you plant the seed, when a gardener plants the seed, they don't go back and keep digging it up to see if the seed, to see if it's gonna sprout, to see if the plant is gonna grow, or whatever. They don't do that. They allow it, they trust it, and know that, okay, they're in the knowing that it's going to sprout. Or another one, when you order food, Maya Angelou was talking about this. When you order food at a restaurant, you already told them your order. You know what you're going to get. You know it's coming. So it's the same thing with your manifestation. You don't sit there asking the waiter like, hey, how long is it going to take? This, that, and the third. When is my food going to come? Sometimes it do take long in these restaurants, but baby, it's coming. But it's the same thing with manifestation. So when I started to, because I watch videos on manifestation, it's not because I'm looking at it as a lack or of desperation, but to actually, when I look at certain videos about manifestation, I look at them and I learn more about what I'm not doing or what I can do to continue to stay in alignment. Because the universe answers to how we feel, our vibration and our frequency. So it is important to be within the frequency of what you desire. That's how you stay in alignment. And the way you stay in alignment with what you want, you're choosing things that are going to help. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I know. But you are doing things that are going to lead you to your manifestation. For example, with success, she talked about success and how a lot of people want to be successful but don't know how to define success. What is your why? What does success look like to you? How much money do you want to make every month? Or like, how much money do you want to bring in? How much income? Do you want to be able to take care of your family? Do you want to be able to take care of other people? It's like, what is success to you? How does it feel? And how does a successful person think? Successful people are successful because regardless of doubt, regardless of worry, they push past that because they have a plan and they're going to execute it regardless. It's the same thing as going to the gym. It's going to be hard on that last rep. It's not going to be easy. You might be huffing and puffing. You might be thinking, I want to give up. But no, you're going to stay consistent. You're going to persist through, and you're going to get through that last rep, right? You're going to keep going every 3 days, every 4 days, even if you don't see results, because you're not going to see results right away when you're losing weight, right? Okay, it's the same thing with manifesting. A lot of us, we tend to give up, and that's something that I used to do. And I used to say, if it's not here, you know what, it's not working. And I was thinking to myself, why isn't it that like when I made that video before about my subscribers, and I didn't make that video because I was reaffirming the old story. I made that video because I was letting go of the old story, and I was telling myself that I'm not going to let this define me. Okay. But I also told God, I also said, hey, what can I do to become better? What can I do that's going to, make me actually be the person that I'm meant to be, to receive this success, receive these amount of views, receive, people like showing up and saying, hey, Alize, I love your content. What person am I becoming behind the scenes? Right? How am I staying in alignment with what I want, as well as putting out this content, putting out these videos? Like I said, I don't put out these videos to get views or to hear what other and I get love on my videos. I do, and I appreciate those people that give me love. I do appreciate that. But what I'm saying is, I do this because this is aligned with my purpose and this is who I am. I'm staying in alignment with what I want and what I truly desire. Right? And walking in faith and trusting and surrendering, not constantly looking at my going back and forth, looking at how many subscribers I made, how many people, how many comments, because I used to do that. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm confusing myself, but I'm also confusing the universe, because the universe is saying you don't trust. You're not trusting it. So that's going to create a delay. And then I want to also talk about this too, because Maya Angelou mentioned delays. When we have delays, sometimes it's to prepare us, it's to prepare. The universe is preparing not only just the manifestation itself, but also us. And we are making sure we are becoming who we need to become in order to receive what we want, right? So when we look at it, when you look at outside of you, because before I used to think so negative, it's like, man, I used to fight for peace. I used to fight for happiness, because even sometimes certain situations where I was going through things, I said, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to continue to, be happy and remain optimistic, even if I did get some bad news, right? Even if something happened that was outside of me, that was outside of my control. Okay, this is probably a sign, or this is steering me into the right direction that I need to be in order to receive my manifestation, right? So I wasn't really thinking like that years ago. But when I started to now, how I am and how I become in alignment with myself and alignment with everything I want, or with everything, I don't even want it anymore because it's already done. Let's just get that out the way. But becoming in alignment with my desires, I learned that, okay, instead of looking at something negative, instead of, projecting negativity, waking up on a bad note, like last night I had a bad dream and I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm going to work out. I didn't want to work out. I was actually like, damn, I don't want to do it, but I still was consistent. I was persistent through it. And it wasn't easy, but I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to choose myself. So I prioritize myself, and I give myself a pat on the back for doing that, right? We show up even when we don't want to, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when it gets difficult. And that's what you do. You want to show up each and every time when you're manifesting. You want to show up and be present, even if you feel like, even if you're wavering, be honest with yourself, and then ask yourself, where are these negative doubts? Where are these fears coming from? This is coming from past generations, from, these are coming from places that aren't even you, because we are not our thoughts. We are not the negative thoughts or our fears or our doubts. We're not anxiety. We're not depression. We are none of that. Okay. We are not that. What we are true powerful creators, and we have to recognize that by stepping into our power and by trusting and knowing and staying within alignment. And how you stay within alignment is whether you can do affirmations. Our affirmations are very powerful. Scripting is very powerful. And being clear with what you want, because the universe is not, you say you want love, but what does love look like to you? How does that feel? Emotional support. What does it look like to you? How somebody that supports you in everything that you do, someone that sees you, where you feel seen, where you feel valued, and then you give that to yourself. You wake up every morning and feel as if though you have already manifested the love, because you have manifested it. You're vibrating on that frequency, right? It's the same thing with success. Okay, what does success look like to you? Your why has to be powerful. Why do you want to do it? Is it for your kids? Is it for you to prove to yourself that you can do anything you put your mind to? Is it to show that, you know what? Is it to show the world, even though you don't need the validation from the world, but whatever it is, what is your why? You have to get clear with your why. You have to be very specific. And when you're specific, then you're going to be able to, your manifestation is going to flow to you easily, because not only is it specific, but it's you've gotten clear with what you wanted. So now that you have that clarity, you're not going to, even if doubts creep in, you're going to say, nope, this is why I'm doing this. Why do I want to lose weight? This is why I'm doing this. you're not going to fold easily because you know, you've wrote it down. You said, this is why you want to do this. I want to challenge myself. I want to show myself that I can do anything, that I'm capable of it, and that yes, I can walk in my purpose, because we are capable. Okay? We are capable of being successful, right? How does a successful person think? How does a millionaire think? How does a wealthy person think? What do they do in the morning? Today I decided to clean up my room, right? I decided to clean up my space because I don't want to live in a cluttered space. I want a space that's going to, where I'm able to walk in freely and I'm able to be like, wow, the smell is amazing. Not only just the smell, but the fact where I have space where it's clear, I can think, I can concentrate, you know? And these are ways that I stay in alignment with my desires, okay? I'm not just out there just doing wishful thinking, because manifestation is not just about thinking it. You also have to make sure that you're putting in the work. But when you're doing the work, when you're putting in the action, not action, but if you take inspired action, you come from a place, and I'll talk about that later on in another video. You come from a place of wholesomeness. You're not coming from a place of lack. You're not coming from a place of where you're nervous, you're anxious. No, you take inspired action and you're like, okay, cool. Because Maya Angelou said that the universe will direct us in many ways, and you don't know that way that you're going may be the way to your manifestation. So remember to stay in alignment with that. Walk as if it is already here, because it is. Because our minds are the most powerful thing, okay? You are not proving anything to anybody. The only person that you're proving this to is yourself. This is you walking in divine faith. This is you walking in your divine purpose and choosing you every single day, even when it gets hard. Even when doubts are starting to tell you that, no, this is not possible. You're showing up, you're being present. So that's how I stayed in alignment. That's how I decided. I made the decision and I decided to keep continuing to move forward. Because at the end of the day, I trust in myself. I trust in the universe. Because the universe, I felt it, I've seen it. And it's not only just about the visualization, but it's about the person that I'm becoming in order to receive it is what I want. So I hope this video inspired you. Give it a like, comment, subscribe, share. Remember, we are the Daily Dose, and we stay doing the most. And on my channel, I'm always going to tell you the realism, and I'm always going to give it to you straight. I'm also on my manifesting journey. So if you feel like, you know, I'm pretty sure, not even I hope, I know that this video is going to help you. I know this video is going to help you because I speak with purpose, okay? And I know that you're going to feel this and you're going to be like, you know what, this is my time. So don't wait until everything's going good. Don't wait until life is going good, the bills are paid. You choose happiness and you choose peace today. And if someone tries to bother your peace, you don't put a price on that. You don't acknowledge that. You just say, you know what? That's not who I am. I'm choosing to remain. I'm choosing to be happy. Okay? Because nothing outside of you should control your emotions. You're the powerful creator. You are the author of this book. You are the director. So act like it, walk in your purpose, and remember, stay faithful because everything is working out in your favor. Peace.